Good morning, y'all. Good morning. How we doing? How we doing? Can I get a pixelito? Let's get it. Previously on Kimba TV. Were you here for the late night stream last night? Nothing has really changed since last Friday. The stuff that we talked about yesterday was go ahead and identify the levels that need to be flipped into support. So we did this last night. Not even last night, like 6 hours ago, literally. Make sure you have that upper boundary identified. And you have this lower boundary identified. Hence the box. So for example, if you're somebody that's bullish, you may have taken smashed longs here, as was the plan last night. So you have to be one, making sure that you have to put your stop loss in profit. Were you here for that?
Latuche, motherfucker, the math is the math.
And I still think, for me, what I have to think about is, what am I going to do if this is on, tomorrow? What do I do if this is, like towards the end of RTH today? Alrighty. Petru says, yes, I was here. I took the log this morning. Awesome. So you're in the same exact situation that we talked about last night. Is this going to turn into support? Yes or no? Right? And if this doesn't turn into support, remember what I said? Like, I'll probably see you down there if this isn't going to keep doing this. So again, all I have to really worry about, if it keeps going up, we don't really have to trip, right? It's if it loses this or if it loses this bullshit that, we're going to probably get lower lows and we're going to have to re-enter the long. So, yeah, so here's the, But yeah, nothing has changed since last night. If you were here, Petrus, we don't get bullish on the penetration, right? We get bullish on the retest. My guy. So I don't know if you shaved a little bit. I would think or hope that you did at 105.8 or 106 or whatever. But even if you haven't shaved anything, your stop loss should be in profit. And you can't lose. Okay? Obviously, this is also all the stuff that we talked about last night. There's a difference between ETH and RTH, right? So this is RTH now. So if it holds the golden pocket during RTH, fucking awesome. Same with ES. Okay. I think ES has a pullback. And if ES changes structure and it goes below 59.50, it's already going to make a lower low here. But if it goes below 59.50, I mean, this is what it's supposed to do. Yes? This is what it's supposed to do. But if it can't hold that, Bitcoin's probably going to... then I have to think about Consuelo tomorrow or maybe Friday or Monday. Yes? So, that's it, Petrus. You took a long. You shaved a little bit. You have your stop loss at break even. You can't lose. Now you just sit back, relax, and the resistance that was, you just wait to see if it gets turned into support. That's it. If you get stopped out on this, that's okay. Where is the next level that you're thinking about longing? And that hasn't changed since yesterday as well. All right. Pretty cool, though. I mean, I think this is pretty cool. We had the level identified. It's pixel perfect. We had the level identified. I mean, even that, holy fuck. We had the level identified, pixel perfect. So This is kind of like, one, I hope nobody got bullish here, because that's literally been the lesson for the week. So even if you know nothing, as long as you didn't get bullish here, I think you won for the week. You know? So the lesson is always get bullish on bullish retests and pullbacks, not at the very top. All right, so everybody had an opportunity. Oh, my cam isn't on? Okay. Yeah! Kachoy! But thank you for being honest. Sounds good to me, though.
Better than all them scoffers. Magnificent with balance. We don't run trades with no malice.
Stop the music. Isn't that fucking nuts, though? Because we did this shit live. I don't know how many times I had to stress that until we get above here and turn it into support, we can't celebrate on the longs at all. And when we got here, I said, watch out, don't get bullish. When we got here, I said, watch out, don't get bullish. When we came here, I said, watch out, don't get bullish. So hella people were bullish, all-time high right here, live on stream. But you're not bullish if we come down here. Yeah, sounds about right. No, that's the way that the game works. Isn't that crazy, though? Yeah, I mean, you do what you know, this is all I would say, okay? These are the moments when the drones are flying. You're going to revert back to whatever you truly believe is the right thing to do. Your subconscious bias is going to kick in. You might tell me that you were bullish, but if you don't want to take an SFP, you don't want to look at, I mean, it's up to you. I've been waiting for all the longs to get stopped out before I go long. So I'm going to just, I mean, I love that there's bottom shorts coming in. You know, do you think I have a hidden CVD bull div on the higher time frame and a regular bull div on the smaller? What does S&P confluence going to look like? Where does S&P need to bounce from and hold? So the cool thing is, brother, you know, I've had, I don't know, 2 weeks now to be really thinking about this and preparing for this. I'm not even tripping, dude. I think I'm going to go hit the Latuche right now. But if you're freaking out right now, the amount of anxiety that you're going to feel as we approach that box is going to be directly correlated with how well your subconscious thinks you prepared. You know? So this is your opportunity to be like, okay, how well did I prepare? You know, what's the data that I'm going to be looking at? All right. So this is it, man. This is, 2 weeks of preparation. It's going to come down to 30 minutes. So Gucci Romo says, I need to see the data. Yeah. But I guess the point that I'm trying to make, Gucci Romo, is you're too good of a trader to be going off of any feelings that you might have. Would that be fair to say? You're too good for that, right? It's okay if you're not bullish, but tell me that, the hidden CVD bull div is lost. Tell me that the regular CVD bull div is lost. Tell me that you have longs entering again on Consuela box. Then I can be like, all right, no, you're probably right. So, all right. That's the bottom line. You're way too good to be talking to me about what your feelings, especially in a moment like this. So let's do the right thing. No emotions. Don't get got, And you know what would be hella funny, Gucci? Oh, what the fuck? Oh, what is going on, Kimba? Did I miss that long? Oh, what the fuck? Like I've been saying, Gucci Romo, if it happens during RTH at fucking 10 o'clock in the morning, like right now, awesome. That's easy money, okay? You know what would be difficult? They do that shit tomorrow. They do that Consuelo level during Macaulay. And isn't that what we highlighted yesterday? If it happens during RTH, no one better fuck it up. No one better fuck it up if it happens during RTH, please. We've spent 2 weeks talking about this. Now, if you fuck it up or get round trip during Macaulay or ETH or overnight, then that's fair game. You know, then that I can understand. But yeah, let's do it. If I were you, Gucci Romo, I would just be taking a look at, if we make a lower low, what kind of divergence does it have to be? So that's a dead ass giveaway, right? And then I'm sure you're staring at the open interest, but I like to see all longs stopped out, check. And I want bottom shorts to come in, semi-check. So, yeah, man. You know, try to think about things like, you know, the preparation that you put in, the levels, the data you're going to be looking at, and try to just be calm and, you know, it's okay to be excited. It's okay to be a little bit nervous. Nervous means that you care. So, you should care. You know, we're not just like randomly throwing money out the window, but it would be nice to see like a swing fail or a failed auction, right? I'm not longing any kind of 3 drives or Kimba Crown or anything like that. It's either a swing fail or failed auction. So I already have my structural anticipation. I already have my open interest anticipation. I have my CVD divergence anticipation, and I even have my S&P confluence. So I have no room for I don't feel good about this, or this doesn't look good, or this smells like a trap. Like, it is what it is, you know? I'm going to just put my stop loss and profit as soon as I can when I see 5-minute structure change, and the rest is up to Sato and fate. You with me, Gucci Romo? All right, we got 3 minutes and change on the 30-minute candle close. Let's get it, man. Show me you know what you're doing. Show me that you can make a logical thought process, decision when everybody is impulsively, shorting the bottom. All right, show yourself. Prove to yourself that you can be calm. Prove to yourself that you can execute your preparations and plans. Prove to yourself that you can fall back on your own hard work and not let anybody else influence you. Yeah, I'm here with you guys. We're gonna do this shit live together, you know. But everybody should be prepared and ready to go. How we doing? Until then, I'm gonna just be lettucing up and drinking coffee and hanging out. Guys locked in though? I pretty much have pixel perfect. Both on derivatives and CME right now. I didn't get fulfilled, but not too bad. All right, let's see if we can get away with some, chat. Damon says we might have Consuela doing the double check on that. Oh yeah, every hypothetical scenario all of us can come up with is fair game, especially during Macaulay. Yeah. And everybody sees the fucked up low, right? I'm not even gonna say what everybody wants to say, right? I'm not even gonna say it, Damon. Because I've been like, hasn't it been leaving bad lows and bad highs? So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, no, that has to get cleaned. I'm still doing what I'm doing, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna just assume I'll get round trip during Macaulay. But that's not gonna make me not take it, you know what I mean? Fingers crossed, maybe we get lucky on this one, huh? All right, any questions? James Wynn is defeated. Who gives a fuck? Because he might have lost money, but imagine you lost your opportunity to juice because you were paying attention to somebody else and pocket watching somebody else. I don't know if you would agree, but I think that's a bigger loss than James Wynn. James Wynn loses money that he can afford to lose. You lost your opportunity to juice the fuck up because you were watching somebody else. As long as you're juicing, you're more than welcome to watch other people, but make sure you're locked in. Awesome. Let's go, Maddie. And are you in a situation where you can't lose, or do you want to talk about stop loss and profit? What are we doing? You juicing on shorts, you juicing on longs. It's inconclusive right now because we still have 10 minutes on this 30-minute candle close. We need to get above the blue line. 10 more minutes, let's lock in. I hope everybody is juicing. And I'm not really talking about money. I'm talking about preparation, confidence, you know? Maybe you have like a 0.1 Bitcoin long or something, but you got the whole process. You were here all day, every day for the last 2 weeks. You were prepared for this. You understood. You actually tried your best to look at open interest and edge. I just feel like when you really push yourself to do the right thing, and because, you know, even if you do the right thing, you prepare, you do your best, you do everything right, you can still get unlucky and get fucked, and that's just life, you know what I mean? But once in a blue moon, fate or God or, you know, destiny or whatever you believe in will give you a chance, because you can't sit here. A lot of people will be like, yo, God, please make me somebody that's richer. Or God, can you make me braver? Or God, can you make me more successful? Or, you know, people be wishing for a genie. But the thing is, it's almost like you get a better deal because fate will give you an opportunity to prove it to yourself that you can actually be braver or you can be a rich person. You know, it can't give you exactly what you want, but it gives you the opportunity for you to earn it yourself or for you to prove it to yourself that you can be that person, right? So that's the whole beauty about all this is you get an opportunity to see how well you're prepared, how well you can contain your emotions, you know? Do you really have good risk management or do you still do some dumbass shit and go all in? You know, we all have an opportunity to exactly see where we're at, and there's nothing like doing the right thing. And regardless of what the outcome ends up being, to be able to say, holy fuck, I actually did the right thing. You know, and you can bank on that and you can count on that to guide you for the rest of your trading career. So, yeah, man. Hit your shit. Lock in, lock in. Lock in. Gotcha. If it doesn't grab all of the single prints, is it bullish or bearish? Did everything get swept? We often talk about, hey, make sure you have this chart where you can distinguish between CME, derivatives, Coinbase spot, you know. So if CME swept, and Coinbase spot swept, but derivatives have not swept, what does it usually do and when? If CME has swept, but derivatives and spot has not swept, what does it usually do? I'm sure everybody has this. Lurson says, like all-time high? Exactly. So that's exactly why it's so important what the CME gap, or if there is not one, if there is or isn't, is so important, which is why I'm thinking I'll stick it and kick it with you guys until Macaulay is done. And then we can kind of conclude if there are patterns that we've seen before that increases the probability that the bad high or the bad low indeed will get left behind. But as of right now, though, do you understand that it's leaning towards cleaning that? And let's say, for example, they leave it like that. Do you understand that now I'm salivating like a motherfucker for it to get cleaned on Monday? And here's the thing, like, listen, you know what's crazy is I've already been thinking about since yesterday, brother, do I take this SFP if it's end of the day Friday? What about if it's towards the last 15 minutes of RTH on Thursday? What if it's Macaulay today? I've had 24 hours to already think about this. So I know exactly what I'm going to do. I know where the 886, I know where the 7, like, if this is going to be bullish and leave it like this, for example, like, have you already pulled the fib? Like, you have this, I'm sure. And so I already know like getting above certain levels and flipping into support is going to indicate bullishness, right? As we have seen thousands of times. And so I as soon as I see what we've seen to indicate that that might get left behind, that the probability of that getting left behind is going to increase, yeah, and I'll call it out too. But until the data shows it, we should be patient, yeah? Kimba, do you think you're going to get away with your long? No. Why would I think that I'm not going to get away with my long? So first things first, is that a good low or not that great? So from a TPO standpoint, 2 blocks, that's not a good low. So it's not finished, okay? I can't tell you when they're going to clean it. I don't know if it's going to be during Macaulay. I don't know if it's going to be during RTH. I don't know if the sweep would make a gap during Macaulay and when it comes back on. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be Monday next week. All right. So if you remember, you know, I kind of already talked about how even if it's over the weekend, I'm still going to take it. Even if it's during Macaulay, I'm still going to take it. Even if it's a bad low, I'm still going to take it with the understanding that I'm probably just going to get stopped out. You know? So just like how we did on all our previous long attempts. I believe this is our 4th long in this 104, 105 area, right? So yeah, but it's a bad low. It's not great. It's unfinished. And I think one of the biggest dead giveaways is CME might have cleaned, but derivatives and spot have not. And based off of what we've seen the last 3 years, you know, probably 70, like a little bit less than 3 out of 4, I would say. I wouldn't, like 3 out of 4 seems a little bit too high. So my mind is probably feeling more like 70%. Like for sure it's more than it's better than 50-50, but 3 out of 4 sounds a little bit too much. So yeah, if CME is the only one that cleaned and spot and derivatives did not, that's gonna get cleaned too. So yeah, I would love it if it's during RTH. I would love it. The earlier that we do it, the more trustable it is. You know, it's gonna be a little bit harder to do it if it's, you know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes before market close, but yeah, on CME, I would love the U.S.-Mexico border, basically Tijuana right there. And then, you know what's crazy is we've had that 102.7 for quite some time because we've had this level before trading light went down. Yeah, so yeah, probably like value area low, like on derivatives, 102.4, 102.5 kind of starts to get interesting. Obviously, you know, you probably don't want to lose that. And it's got to, however low it goes, it's got to snap. JV says, somehow confused. I wasn't expecting the strong moves, but that's okay. But JV, what is one of the most common things that we say? You can't expect anything. The only thing that you can expect is to be round tripped. So make sure you shave and put your stop loss at break even, and there's your test. But that's okay. But you know, it's still level by level. I probably, you know, unless you want to try to scalp like a long, now I'm going to just wait for 98 and the 100 to get lost. I think there's a single print and VWAP up there. So you could do like a failed auction right here and maybe continue to go up. Now I'm thinking, you know, Monday is going to be like a scalp short if it gives us one. But yeah, like I would say that, you know, 104, 105 is not, you know, looking like it's going to get reclaimed. And so any sort of pump, you know, especially on Monday, depending on if we're near the VWAP up there and the single print, which is up here. I was already kind of like pulling fibs, the VWAP and that. But yeah, the next place that we would be interested in thinking about longing would be that that zone from back in the day. Now we might actually get it since we're below the valley area high. So full rotate is ready to go, you know. Easy money. New Future Tech says, what triggered the crash? Some news? Nah, just math. I feel like every time there's like volatility that people weren't prepared for, it's like, oh, what was the news? No, it's just math. New Future Tech, I mean, you should know this better than anybody else. We've been talking about, look, if 104, 105 don't work, then it's going to be the 100. And remember, 100 is going to get lost at some point, so don't get baited. So 98, 99 is our next level. And guess what? If 98, 99 don't work, it's going to nuke to 92, maybe even 91. I don't want you to be talking about what was the trigger. Just nobody wants to buy. All right, but especially like from here to here, these are all stop losses, brother. Right? We knew these were going to get cleaned. So if the long here didn't work, you know, and snap back in, and we had a chance, you can go back and we identified pixel perfect what was the structure change that would make you go stop loss at break even. And I think that saved a lot of people. But even that was on point. Eventually, we couldn't hold that. And, you know, once we crossed into the Mexico border, it's here, it's here, it's here. And if that doesn't work, then we're going to go to fucking, I don't know, like Nicaragua down at 92. Yeah, but as soon as it breached through that, stop loss hunt, stop loss hunt, stop loss, stop loss, stop loss. Cha! Let's go, juicy fruit. Bitch! Do I have everybody's blessing for another Letuche? Who juicy? Gotcha. 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 Bugatti money chat. Bugatti money chat. Bugatti money chat. Gotcha. How we doing? Any questions, Lions? Typhoon says Kimbo is shorting BTC. I've been short since 3 days ago. You can always rewind and get caught up. Yeah, but this is the exact reason why we always head short. Because I didn't TP a lot of my longs. So, yeah, it's great. And every single long that I'm going to attempt, one, give it up for realizing where the invalidation is and making sure that we can't lose any money on that. Give it up for that. Holy shit. Give it up for the S&P short that we TP too quickly on. Give it up for the altcoin longs that we've been waiting for since October, I think. And yeah, like this is why, like I'm gonna round trip the whole short, you know, because it's only just there so that really like here, and here, I won't make any money on the short basically if I take a loss, right? So no, it'll always run. But yeah, if you want to go back, we're in from over there, brother. Yeah, and we're not gonna TP the short at all, really. Yeah, so short you let run, the long you TP aggressively. Make sense? But it depends on what your bias is. You would obviously flip it if you have an opposite bias. Any questions? For love and peace, let's go. Synonym, let's go. JV says that was literally life-saving. Yep. And so there you go, JV. It was really... This is why, like, I was talking so much about do the right thing, do the right thing, do the right thing, you know, and how the most proud that you'll be is when you did the right thing. Because you could kind of go back and look at it, JV. It's probably, I mean, you might say the opposite, but it's almost equivalent to me. If that long had worked out and I was juicing right now, I would be ecstatic. But I'm just as ecstatic on being able to identify that level and say, hey, we've changed structure. So if it can't make a higher low, it's fucked. Yeah. So it's always going to come down to stop loss and profit, understanding what bulls need to do, what bears need to do. Yeah. So now, unfortunately, we couldn't juice as much as we wanted on that, but that's okay. Now we have our next plan. Sounds good? Latisse, let's go. Gorokin, let's go. Mats P, let's go. Burke says below 90K, worst case scenario. Oh, yeah. I mean, if we're below, first off, it's Macaulay right now. Let's go. Let's get nasty on these hoes. Chat. So really, the only reason why I would even think about longing the bad lows would be to just assume that it's going to get safer Monday. Yeah, so I'll still take it and just, like we said earlier, just move your stop loss into profit relatively quickly, on all the longs. Yeah. Love you too. Initiate hazard. James Kirk, let's go. Rev says, Kimba, delete the line. Hey. But did you see how we drew it? So you got to anchor it to the first one. The second one doesn't count because it's less volume. So the price action that's closer to more volume, I'm going to take that into consideration. I'm going to tap the first one. Okay, technically you could probably do something like this where you're including the first one and the third one like this. And then it makes this one pixel perfect. There's no right or wrong. Usually, to give myself a little bit more room, especially because if I'm bullish and I wanted to do a bullish retest, the higher the better, right? Okay, but you see it? So this one, less volume. This one is closer. So this is the one that you're going to try to anchor upon. Okay, it wouldn't even be wrong to do these two, except then you have too many price action that goes above. You're only really allowed one. So if you do this, now you have two. 1, 2, and that's, I don't think I would do it that way, so I'm going to go with that. I'm going to clip it on this guy. Like I said, some people, old school, they're going to do it like this, which is fine. It'll pixel perfect that pixel. But I'm going to do this, and then I'll do that. All right, 8 more minutes and 30 seconds. There is 88K harmonic. Nice. I'm ready for it, man. 9. Let's go. I'm ready for it. Not only am I ready for it on Bitcoin, dude, I'm really ready for it on like 5 or 6 altcoins. You feel me? But I'm not gonna get got, bro. 100K I know is gonna lose. Okay, is gonna get broken. So 98, I'm still going to be taking a shot. I'm sure people, here's the thing, right? Man 9, we didn't have enough people that were shorting at that recent high that we were trying to hold as support. One of these levels, motherfuckers is going to get really bearish at the bottom. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if since 88 looks so good and 92, like that 80, 89, 92, right? Let's just call it the 91 zone then, okay? If that shit looks really good to a lot of people, then it's going to front run it. So we'll take a look at what the open interest is. If we get a bunch of dum-dums trying to short 100, 99, 98, then, and we'll compare it and contrast it to how many bottom shorts came in at 104, right? Yeah, but for now, we have 8 more minutes until Kevin's parents come back. CME is going to be coming back. S&P is going to be coming back. So at that point, we'll start the outro, and I will hand it off to Housty and Cage. Give it up for Housty and Cage. Let's go! And hands up if you want to regroup hella early tomorrow for non-farm payrolls. Maybe we get the initial move as a debate clean tomorrow. Lions, let's go. Hey, longers, I'm rooting for you. Shorters, I'm rooting for you. Bulls, Bears, we're all Lions. Hey, Raving, give it up for Houston Cage.